Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gore Column, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives about recent important news that they put out. With us today, happy to have him back, our friend Alan Paul Silverstein, President and CEO of ImagineAR, trades in Canada IP for friends in the US under the stock symbol IPNFF. Guys, for those of you who believe in the future of augmented reality and the role it's going to play in our entertainment, in commerce, medical, all the different applications, then you're going to love this interview, because don't believe us, don't believe Alan. Tim Cook on September 26th said, in the future, people will wonder how we live without augmented reality, and we're investing a ton in that space. Specifically, the global augmented reality market is expected to hit about $330 billion by 2028. That's 46% compound annual growth rate. Those are unheard of numbers. Now, ImagineAR, they're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. They've already started commercializing with clients at the highest levels of industry, sports, Fortune 500, entertainment, you name it, they've got them all. And here to talk about the 2022 wrap-up press release that he put out is Alan. Welcome back. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year to you, George. Good to see you again. Hopefully you can tell I lost a little bit of weight. I've been trying to
looking good, and I love the background, man. That's a kick-ass background with all the paraphernalia, all the signs.
There's a warehouse full of a lot more stuff. So yeah, certainly appreciate it. Rather than the boring and the blur, I figure we'll do something different for this year and kick it off in the world.
I'm jealous. Hey, so look, 2022, right? Market factors aside, because Tesla, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, the big names had real troubles on the capital market side. So I don't even think you had as big a trouble as they did, but that's what was going on. That aside, the only thing you could control is the business. 2022 was a kick-ass year, no?
It was a significant year, yeah. If you put aside, obviously, stockholders always look at the prices, but if you put aside from a company our size of 4 years and what we've accomplished, last year was a major, there's a crossing the chasm moment. We actually hit the point where the SDK fully commercialized, license updated. We hit our first, top 4 league in the United States ever as well. And there's a confidence going into 2023 now that we see a difference, because now we've proven it. We have case studies, we have a track record, and yeah, we've accomplished, certainly on our side from a metric standpoint, where we want to be going into this year, and have positioned ourselves, for a really sales marketing opportunity with great references, testimonials, and use cases.
Yeah, the third-party validation was everything for me in 2022, because Alan, at the end of the day, we love you, we love the company, but guys like me, Bob, Mary, we can't assess how good is your AR technology versus, George Calm AR over here. So what do we look for? Third-party validation. Baltimore Ravens, Learfield with the National College Football Championship, Jet Media Network with Ronaldinho, and on and on and on. So, you're there. Let's talk about a couple of these things, because what I want to hear is, we're not going to go over those again, but where they're going. So Ravens, big success there. Yinscam is the global leader in pro sports mobile apps. They're the ones that integrated you. They've got over 150 clients. I've got to ask, is the possibility there for extending to other teams now? Because I'm assuming Yinscam is happy with how the technology got deployed.
Well, good question. So let's start who's most important. The Ravens are very happy. Dave Lang, who we work with, loves it. We're already having our planning meetings for this upcoming season, include the preseason. And the original plan was, to roll out in early September. Again, delayed due to certain factors related to the mobile app development, because they've got to start a football season, lots of clients. Of course. But from our perspective, when we finally did launch, it ended up being successful. And now we're looking at the GPS, location, AR scavenger, and integration going into this coming season. And certainly, unfortunately, the Ravens are out, but Lamar Jackson being out is their biggest superstar name that everyone's excited about. Him being off the field for that long period of time certainly, didn't help blow it up even bigger than it could, but it has resulted in our phone ringing in early 2023 already from teams. And it gives us a great target market list as well, which is great. So yeah, some names we've previously talked about showed up again, and let's see how the year goes. But certainly having those great examples with the holograms, with the visual activations, the Super Bowl trophy, and having them as a very happy reference for us and a great testimonial going forward, I think allows us now to really focus on commercializing the SDK to other clients who are using the YinzCam mobile apps around the world and have the ability to market it as an annual license opportunity for 2023. And we have plenty of time because most certainly they have a lot of NFL teams, NBA teams, and they have some NHL teams. Point being, the NFL teams start working on their budgets in February. We're aware of it. We've already had discussions with a number of organizations. So we're excited as this year goes on because we're really trying to see if we can be the standard as preseason comes up for these teams and start providing 365-day a year, fan engagement opportunities in their mobile app, which they're all looking to drive mobile app engagement these days too.
Well, that's the thing about disruptive tech, right? Everybody loves it. Nobody wants to be first. Now you got the Ravens, the Super Bowl ring. People were able to, do the thing with that. Other sports teams see it and say, okay, the Ravens did it, went okay, nothing. So I love that. Suddenly you go from everybody sitting on the fence to hopefully everybody rushes in. So let's see how that goes. Learfield. I mean, if we just ended there with the Ravens and YinzCam, we'd say, okay, we got a potentially great year to look forward to. Learfield, the biggest college football, the biggest college, not football, but the biggest college content mobile app provider in the world. They've got over 1,500 college clients. You had success with the college football playoffs and the championship and the trophy and all that. A couple of our guys actually used it. They're putting it up on Twitter if they haven't already done so. 1,500 college clients. How happy was Learfield? Are they happy enough that they may be saying, hey, Alan, let's have conversations with just a few other teams of ours now?
Yeah, the college football playoffs was presented to us through their executive team, including their CEO, Jeff Rubin. We talk pretty regularly. We even spoke last week. They're extremely pleased with the tech. They've given us nothing but positive feedback on the integration. Their tech team, they said, was extremely impressed and very happy with it. The comment to me was it was extremely easy to integrate. And Jeff, the CEO, then said after, said, I haven't heard that from our tech in quite a while on an SDK. So we are actually now planning going forward because the college football playoff was really our test case, right? Let's get a proof of concept in the biggest platform in the world. College football playoffs was very happy. We got feedback from them. So certainly we think this is a great start of that relationship where we'll be working closely with them where they have tremendous amount of the top Division I teams around the, around the United States, some big names. And we have a lot of optimism going forward, and we're having planning discussions as we speak, how to roll out together to their client base. So yeah, certainly starting with Learfield with their client base, YinzCam, we've got their teams. That's a great start to 2023, and the phone ringing from a lot of things that have been going on and having these references of a lot of these teams, organizations that we've been contacting on and on, got wind of what we're doing and certainly open up a great sales funnel opportunity for us earlier in this year than any other time we've had in previous company history. We're seeing a lot of great activity already in this month already, George.
Do you think this finally puts some of the ImagineAR critics to rest where they would say, who cares about this junior baseball team in the middle of Erie, Pennsylvania doing a scavenger hunt? Remember those days where people wanted you at the top of you had to start at the bottom and now you're at the top. Do you think that finally puts the critics to rest?
You and I have a different measurement. Certainly, if you look at the industry and AR, I think we've held out. We're a survivor, as it turns. You're always an overnight success 5 years later, right? We started in 2018 and 2023, and we redesigned and rebuilt this platform and over. But stockholders look at it different than us. They wake up every day and they go green, red, and they go from there. Certainly, we have a lot of optimism now that the development has pretty much been done. The SDK is pretty well established. It works. We're basically working closely with a number of these partners. I think there's one more you might mention who we potentially have some volume opportunities, but certainly we have a lot of confidence because now it's been working around the globe and additionally very successfully in getting picked up in a lot of areas. And that's a great opportunity for us. The rest is up to us to sell and market, and having partnership opportunities with Learfield, directly with the CEO of Sidearm Sports, Jeff. YinzCam we talked to as well and their team, and we're having meetings with them. I think it's putting us in a great position that's focused purely on sales and licensing revenue for 2023.
Yeah, I like I said, disruptive tech. People want to see somebody else do it first because it's disruptive. They see all this. Look, I can't make any promises. I can't put words in your mouth, but I know a business works. I know it's worked for me. I know it's worked for others. This is the inflection point now where People have seen the tech, and now it's just closing deals and rolling them out. I'm hoping you're going to get to a point where you're telling people, hey, sorry, George, thank you. Great for glad you signed a contract. I got to do you in about 2 or 3 months. So I think that's where we're going to get to, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, guys. So nobody hold me to it. The partner you also mentioned, because we got one more to talk about, Jet Media Network. People don't never necessarily know the name, but they're the ones who are responsible for the Ronaldinho app that had amazing success, 40% uplift, some massive numbers. So we know that was a screaming success because of all the numbers that came with it. They've got a bunch of, they don't just have Ronaldinho. You don't have a company like Jet Media Network and just have one guy. They've got dozens of others. What's the rollout possibilities with them as well?
Well, again, what I can and cannot say publicly, we have a great relationship. Robin and I, Robin, Shelley, and Jesper, the CEO, we're in contact regularly. They're extremely happy how Ronaldinho worked with the AR. I think that AR has become a keystone of their application, and they have a new focus as they go forward. They did announce on their website, and we did cover in our press release, that they signed 25 top talents around the world. I do know some of the names. They are some of the top talents in the world, I will say that. And they're going to do mobile apps for each of them. And then it kind of looks like they're going to have a singular one. So it's exciting to talk and work with them. And we're pretty optimistic in that partnership, similar to with the Learfield and similar to, the potential Yinscam, where we've proven it out. It's been successful. We're working with them, still supporting them on the SDK Ronaldinho with new features and stuff, and still having conversations. So we're pretty comfortable at this point, is the word I can only say, right? That as they continue this year, and they just got announced as in South by Southwest finalists in the pitch contest, using the Ronaldinho in their background. So we're excited to take the journey with them. And hopefully this looks like it's going to be a wonderful year with us and Jet Media as well. Again, pure license, revenue, focus on the SDK as well.
And Al, what I love about all three of these partnerships is, the Ravens and Yinscam. That's NFL, top 4 league.
Well, that's
then you got
NFL,
Learfield,
NBA.
college. Then you got Jet Media, individual athletic superstars. So you're covering the gamut. You've got 3 great potential, partnerships here that can really roll out, and they're in 3 different segments. So, even if one of those turns out to be a big win, you've got company makers, let alone if 2 or 3 of those. So I just want to add that in there, that it seems like you got all the bases covered.
And to add one more thing, and it's kind of been very quiet, and it's something I think we discussed before, is, NIL, name, image, likeness in college is going, is still something of a major consideration for a lot of organizations, including Sidearm Sports. And we have this little company sitting on the side that's kind of sitting there quietly. It was just named one of the top 10 hottest sports startups of the year by the #1 sport tech journal in the world.
Fame Days.
It was listed first, back to Fame Days, and it hasn't been ignored. And certainly that has some potential opportunity, not only what we've discussed, and we are looking at certain financing options as well, but additionally in the NIL marketplace, I think, there is very good potential for Fame Days to fit into that very nicely.
What is it? And I was actually going to move into the awards validation also. Sport Techie, like you just announced, one of the top 10 hottest sports startups. And just yesterday, you didn't press release it, but you put out via tweet, LA Force, top 50 sports startups in the world. Man, you're getting the partnerships, the customers, and you're getting the validation through awards. Did you imagine a year ago, and I know you're obviously very confident, but could you imagine a year ago that the company would get this kind of recognition at an awards level and the business level, and you'd be this strong?
You speak to a lot of CEO. It's a grind every day, George. No one ever. Funny you said you ever imagined it. Well, it was ImagineAR. Of course, we imagined it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have patented the name.
Love the name.
But certainly it's been a long road, and it's never as fast as we hope. We've been talking to the Ravens for 2 years. We've been talking to Learfield for 2 years. So it never happened as quick as we wanted. And I'm sure, again, from people watching this, like, well, it should have happened 2 years ago. But
COVID played a role there too, because you can't do AR if no one's walking around.
You hit it on the head. COVID was a mixed blessing. On one side is it woke up sports teams, organizations, entertainment, say, we got to do something because fans aren't coming into the stadium. So it woke up to the credibility and the confidence that something like AR could provide new revenue, new fan engagement, build community, build your tribe, and create this new interaction opportunity. On the other side is, as you said, all the physical locations were closed, so you didn't have that opportunity for them to say, hey, let's try and get our fans when they come in stadium or they come into our physical location to do stuff. So it did both for us. But then last year, the budgets were completely different for all these sports teams and organizations we had, because at that point they were trying to make goods, get caught up with sponsors, put fans in seats, and that was their focus. So they weren't looking at additional key target marketing opportunities like AR. Now, 2023, with what we're seeing a difference already early this year, there's a lot of revisiting very quickly by organization teams that are interested in pursuing this as a potential new sponsorship, revenue opportunity, and fan engagement as everyone tries to build out their community in 2023 and beyond.
Another topic I want to cover from the press release. Again, you put this out right for the new year. GVA 3 in there, the status update you gave us was awaiting to confirm potential proof of concept projects. Obviously, we had the holidays, the new year, so here we are a couple of weeks in now. How's that looking in terms of potentially being selected for some proof of concept projects?
Well, last time we got selected by 18 teams, and we didn't get a lot of groundwork and execution after that, and nothing from our side that slowed it down, but more from the way it was set up. This time, we have a lot more confidence that it's handled correctly. Once we have signed agreements this time with organizations for POCs, we will then make those announcements as they relate as material news.
You got what's your level of confidence on 1 to 10 that you'll get?
I'm not allowed to give you any confidence level.
I got to ask, because people are going to be, right now, people at home are saying, hey, ask him.
We're very optimistic that GVA 3, they changed their model, that if you're in GVA 3, the expectation, what was announced, is that participating organizations will get proof of concepts with the partners that they have participating around the world.
Hip Hop Hall of Fame, and that ties into sports, right? Hip hop and sports now. It's amazing. You watch NFL, hip hop, they're just really connected. So I love the fact that it's complementary. What's the latest on Hip Hop Hall of Fame?
Just spoke to JT yesterday. We speak pretty regularly. They're a force. They got a lot going on. They've got some pop-up shops potentially coming. They've got a location in Penn Station coming up. They've got the big building in Harlem coming. They're on a roll, and it look like they're going to do a TV show also. So there's a lot there, and we expect to be a participant, an active participant, integrating into all their activations that they're doing, not only for this year, but as they continue forward. So let's see how
that's a 3-year deal, right?
They signed a 3-year deal at I think $95 US per year, if I remember correctly, plus a rev share part of it as well. So let's see going forward. But I'm excited because they seem to have laid a lot of groundwork for events, for media coverage, as well as some other opportunities and some major sponsorship as well.
Hold on, I was making a note here. When you speak to the guys Hip Hop Hall of Fame, another revenue source that I see, potential revenue stream, is you and me as a hip hop group.
Oh, absolutely, George.
Got to talk about that, because you and I, we rock on these Zoom calls, right? Alan and George.
Next one, George.
What's that?
Next.
Hey, I'm trying to get famous, so just at least ask him to take a look at George the Greek, okay?
All right, I'll put it on his list right after he does Snoop and Jay-Z and all the other guys he's talking to.
Financing. Look, every small cap in the world needs financing. You're obviously in that same category there as well, but I think you got a big advantage because you don't have a big burn rate. Even when you got your big financings in the last couple of years, you didn't ratchet up expenses. In fact, I had a couple of conversations with you when a couple of times I said, you need like a right-hand man, and you're like, no, I can handle this all. I just need the developers. So how's that looking? How's your balance sheet looking, and what are we looking at going forward?
Well, certainly, we're a small company. We're out there now aggressively looking, and we're looking at multiple options, but we don't have a very high burn rate. And based on proven case studies now with top teams and organizations around the world. It certainly has opened up a lot more conversations. I will say the Sport Techie article of having fame days, that had the phone ringing and continues to, and that's proven out some good opportunities as well. So I think it's something we'll address. And once it's done, we get that accomplished, hopefully sooner, we'll make an announcement with it. But we're looking at a number of different options that are dilutive and non-dilutive. And like every other company, we've cut our expenses enormously. So at this point, we have great references. We think cash flow wise with these partnerships we discussed is going to give us a great runway for 2023. And as we go forward, we're a lot more optimistic having these great testimonials and proven track record to date.
But kudos to you, because I know some small cap CEOs, they get major financing coming in like you did over the last couple of years, and they really start spending on stuff they shouldn't be spending on. I guess it makes them feel like a bigger company. You always kept it tight. So that's benefited shareholders immensely. And it's an even bigger benefit now because one, you stretch those dollars, and two, you don't need a ton of money right now. You don't have to worry.
No, and most of our burn rate, George, if you look at it and look at the numbers, most of the burn rate is all development and tech. And actually, when you look at the ImagineAR SDK, the company also in white label and some other things, that's really where most of the burn rate was going when you look at everything we reported. And at this point, it's done. So now we're just basically maintaining what we put out there because the SDK is pretty much fully developed for everything it needs to be done for teams.
Two more conversations. One is La Liga with SD Ponferradina. What are you doing there? And this is a Division 2 team. So on the surface, doesn't seem like a lot to get excited about. But is La Liga watching what you're doing with them?
Yeah, so Javier he became a friend through the years, actually, independent. Then he joined as innovation manager of that La Liga 2 team. Very vocal, very visible in La Liga, knows a lot of people. And he basically wanted to use ImagineAR to become a sponsorship partner. And he's running an AR scavenger hunt as we speak in his city in Spain across the world. How cool is that? He's posted up tweets with the video, usage video. It's working really well. He's extremely happy. We've got nothing but extraordinarily positive feedback about our support team and about us. And also a number of La Liga organizations, both at the top level, La Liga Tech and their partners, we're getting some inquiries coming in from there as well, now that they're seeing it, to understand how we're doing it and how it's functioning. So that's another great visibility opportunity, and it's being promoted heavily, and it's working quite successfully.
There's an example of the dominoes I sometimes refer to where, something small leads to something big. And here you have Javier, who is a big fan of your technology. It says, hey, even though this isn't a big team with Ponferradina, we want to deploy the tech because I love it. And then it gets the attention of the bigger bigs at La Liga.
It's gotten a lot of attention, even got covered in La Liga newsletter, actually internally for all the teams. So yes, wow. It's getting a lot of good coverage, and he's still ongoing as we speak. And he's using holograms, he's using 3D objects. He's got sponsor names in there. I think BMW's one and others. So he's done a great job locally to get people going to physical locations to collect and do the scavenger hunt on a daily basis.
The last thing I want to talk to you about is, and it's a bit of an outlier, but because I know I'm looking at ChatGPT and the possibilities, because Agoracom at some point wants to get to AI avatars, but the one thing that's been difficult is static responses versus dynamic responses.
Right.
And now you got Microsoft. So when I saw Microsoft is an investor and looking to take potentially a $10 billion position, then I started making the connection. Microsoft, Azure, because it's cloud, that's where all this resides. You're working with Azure is basically the backbone of your tech.
100%.
Do you see a crossover there between AI, dynamic AI and your holograms, avatars in the future?
So 2 years ago, we played with taking characters and holograms and bringing them to life. I think it was called Cortana back then, and it was online in the cloud, but it didn't work that great. And it was leveraging AI machine to basically ask questions and get answers. We actually had a test case using some famous characters. In this case, having ChatGPT available, we can bring AR immersive experiences to life with interactive Q&A. You can have a real interaction with it. It can bring us into now medical. And because we're a complete Azure architect globally, it fits in nicely. Microsoft announced it's going to be part of the Azure platform, OpenAI, that you can integrate into your
Wow.
solutions. So it's a perfect fit. It's not something we're going to hit right away, but think of it as a Q&A opportunity. If I'm going through museums, I'm looking at artwork, education, I see a 3D of an heart or some of the book, I can get history on it. It's just a new marketing opportunities, hospitality, and now bring AR to life with a complete interactive opportunity, fully plugged in. And we're already Azure. We already built out the global platform. So now it just becomes a plug-in opportunity for us to really bring our AR to life. So it's exciting. It's something that we when it announced, we all looked at each other and said, this is another piece we wanted anyway. We tested 2 years ago. Now it gives us a way going forward. So let's see what the future brings, but we're pretty excited that we picked Microsoft, early on in 2017, 18, and now this is looking to be a great solution with that and everything else we've done to date.
I know you got to run, but I'm going to say I'm slightly concerned about that because I could see you and I replaced by dynamic AI-driven avatars, where on my side, it's reading all the press releases and putting questions together, and on your side, it's giving all the, and you and I are done. So,
and I'll give you the right answers. So thank you very much, George. I appreciate you following through so we can have an update to the shareholders.
Thank you, buddy.
And my dog said they're done. That's it. It's over. They're barking. So,
Happy New Year. Wish you a great
appreciate it.
2023, my friend, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us. For everybody at home, you've been watching, if you listen to my podcast, Alan Paul Silverstein, President and CEO of ImagineAR, IP in Canada, IPNFF in the US. For those new to the story, get to Agoracom, get to the profile page. There's a lot of tech here. We got neatly laid out for you. Do your due diligence. If you believe in the future of augmented reality, you got to look at ImagineAR. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Hey guys, the video's over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our YouTube channel so you never miss another great Agoracom small cap video.